You know all the English words? You have like a whole dictionary in your head.
Right.
Your grammar is totally perfect when you write it down on paper.
Yes, exactly. On paper, it is great.
But then, you go into a high-stakes meeting at the office, or maybe a college viva, and your boss or teacher asks you a simple question.
Uh-oh. I know where this is going.
And suddenly your brain just deletes everything. Zero. Blank. You just freeze.
It is the absolute worst feeling. It really is.
It is. So why does this happen? Why can we think perfectly in our native language or even inside our own heads, but the second we open our mouths, we just short circuit?
Especially when the pressure is high, right? Or when we're speaking in a second language like English.
Exactly. So today we are doing a deep dive into the psychology of this brain freeze. We
Yeah.
want to figure out how to stop it.
And we have some really great source material for this today. It is a very simple, very clear guide called The Art of Confident Communication.
Yeah, it's basically a conversation between two people, Oman and Ria.
What I love about this source is that it completely skips all the boring, heavy textbook grammar rules.
No one wants to talk about grammar rules right now.
Exactly. Aman and Ria do not talk about complex nouns or verbs. They talk about the real daily struggles of just talking to another human being.
They break down the actual mental blocks, the things that stop smart people from sounding smart.
Right. And our mission today is to unpack those exact blocks. We are going to learn why flawless grammar and having a huge vocabulary are honestly not that important.
Wait, really? Not important.
Not as important as the real secret, which is confidence and connection.
I love that. So let's just jump right in. The source material starts by completely redefining what a good communicator actually is.
Yes. Aman starts with a very simple definition. He says communication is just expressing your thoughts clearly.
Which sounds obvious, right?
It does. But then Ria jumps in and counters him with a massive point. She says communication is not just about speaking, it is equally about listening.
And that right there is the game changer.
It really is. I mean, treating communication as just an output like just talking is the biggest mistake people make.
Oh, totally. Society kind of trains us to think that communication is a performance. Like you are an actor on a stage.
Right, like you have to be standing there in the spotlight, delivering this perfect, flawless speech without making a single mistake.
Using massive, difficult words to show everyone how smart you are.
Exactly. We think being a good communicator means dominating the whole room.
But honestly, thinking like that is just exhausting.
It is so tiring.
If your standard for success is giving a perfect TED Talk every time you order a coffee or talk to your boss, the pressure is just huge.
You are basically overthinking everything. You are checking your own pronunciation, your grammar, how loud you are speaking.
Instead of actually paying attention to the person you're talking to.
Exactly. And that internal checking is exactly what Ria is talking about. She says listening is just as important as speaking.
Okay, let's unpack this with a daily life example. Think of communication like playing a game of catch with a cricket ball.
Okay, I am listening.
If you just take the ball and throw it as hard as you can,
Yeah.
but you don't even check if your friend is looking,
Someone is going to get hurt.
right, it is not a successful game. You have to look at them. You have to see if they have their hands ready. Listening is how you check if they are ready to catch your words.
What's fascinating here is how society usually praises the throwers, the people who just talk and talk.
But they ignore the fact that real connections needs the catching part too.
Yeah.
You have to listen to the feedback.
Yes. If you are not looking for that feedback, you are just talking to a wall.
You are not communicating. You are just making noise.
So this raises a really big question. If communication is just the simple two-way street, this game of catch, why do so many people get so scared before they even throw the ball?
Why do they freeze up?
Exactly. And the source material goes directly into the psychological barrier next.
Yes, section 2, the mental block.
Yeah.
Aman points out a huge, very common problem. He says people actually know the language.
Yes.
They know the English words.
Mm-hmm.
But they cannot express themselves because they get nervous, they hesitate, and they overthink.
And then the source states it super bluntly. It just says, confidence is more important than perfection.
Which is such a relief to hear, honestly.
It is, because
Yeah.
overthinking completely ruins your confidence. When we try to be perfect, our brain basically goes into a state of paralysis.
Okay, let's break down the psychology of that. What is actually happening in the brain when someone freezes up, like when they're doing that thing?
Well, it is all about how much load your brain can handle. When you are terrified of making a mistake, your brain starts doing a huge security check before you even speak one word.
A security check. like at the airport.
Exactly like that. You pick a word you want to say, but before it comes out of your mouth, your brain stops it. It checks it against all your grammar rules.
Oh, wow. So it is asking, is this the right tense? Is this past tense or future tense?
Yes. Is my pronunciation okay? Will people laugh at me? Would a native speaker say it exactly like this?
That is so much work for the brain.
It is. You are flooding your own memory. Your brain only has so much space to work with at one time.
Right.
And if 90% of your brain power is busy doing grammar checks and managing your fear, you only have 10% left to actually speak.
And so the system crashes.
Basically, yes.
Hmm.
The hesitation, the stuttering, that is just your brain buffering because it has too much to do.
That is such a good way to put it. You are so worried about how the car works that you forget how to drive it.
Exactly. And then a really bad cycle starts. You hesitate, so you feel a little stupid.
Yeah, you feel embarrassed.
And feeling embarrassed makes you more stressed.
Yeah.
And stress makes your brain work even slower, so you hesitate even more.
It is a trap. But wait, let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
So what does this all mean for our credibility? Like
Mhm.
our reputation? If we stop worrying about mistakes and just confidently say the wrong thing, aren't people going to judge us?
You mean in professional settings?
Yeah. Like if I am in a job interview at an IT company or talking to a big client, if I confidently say the wrong grammar, won't they think I'm not smart? Isn't some level of perfection totally necessary?
It is a fair question, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, the real goal of communication is clarity, not a flawless performance.
Clarity over perfection.
Yes. When people listen to you in a boardroom, they are not grading your grammar like a school teacher. They are looking for safety, trust, and understanding.
But what if I make a big mistake? Like if I say, we was going to the market instead of we were going. The client will definitely notice that, right?
They might notice it, yes, but how they feel about it depends entirely on how you deliver it.
How do you mean?
If you are making eye contact, keeping a nice, steady rhythm, and you just seem relaxed and confident, the listener's brain actually autocorrects those little mistakes for you.
Wait, really? The listener fixes it in their own head.
Yes, because they are following your meaning. They are tracking the emotion and the point of your story.
Oh, that makes so much sense. So the confidence kind of overrides the bad grammar.
Completely. Think about the opposite. Think about someone who is trying to be absolutely perfect.
Right.
They speak in this robotic, slow voice. They look up at the ceiling because they are searching for the perfect English word.
Oh, I have seen people do that.
Yeah.
They look up and go, for like 5 seconds.
Yes. And those long, awkward pauses, they make the listener feel super
The
uncomfortable.
listener feels the anxiety.
Exactly. And the listener might think, oh, this person doesn't know what they're talking about.
Even though the person actually knows the topic, they are just searching for a vocabulary word.
Exactly.
Ah,
A slightly clumsy but confident sentence builds way more trust than awkward silence.
okay, I'm sold. Confidence is more important.
Mhm.
But, knowing this is one thing, doing it is another.
Right.
I can't just tell my brain, hey, stop doing security checks, don't be nervous. That never works.
Telling someone don't be nervous is probably the worst advice ever.
It really is.
Yeah.
So how do we actually fix this? The source material gives us a fascinating strategy to break out of this perfectionist trap.
It does. Aman and Ria say we have to change the actual way our brain processes the language behind the scenes.
Yes, section 3, shedding the weights, thinking simply and directly.
Aman gives a huge tip here. He says, start thinking in English. And Ria adds, don't translate from your native language.
This is massive because mental translation is so heavy for the brain. It is the main reason why people hesitate and lag.
Absolutely.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's use an analogy. Mental translation is like streaming a YouTube video on a super slow internet connection.
Oh, with the little loading circle?
Yes, the buffering circle just spinning and spinning. Imagine the steps your brain takes when you translate.
Okay, walk me through it.
Step 1, you see a dog. Step 2, your brain thinks of the word in your native language, like Hindi. You think kuta. Step 3, your brain searches for the English translation of that word. Step 4, you find the word dog. Step 5, you try to build an English sentence around it using grammar rules that are completely different from Hindi.
And by the time you finally say the word out loud,
The conversation has already moved on. The other person is talking about something else.
that lag is just fatal to a natural conversation. You are trapped in that buffering circle.
And the worst part is the person you were talking to doesn't know you're doing all this hard work in your head. They just see you staring blankly.
Which is why you have to cut out the translation step completely. You have to think directly in English.
Okay, but how?
Well, it connects to the next big tip from the source. Ria says, use simple and clear words. And Aman adds, don't try to sound too complex.
Using simple words. This is so hard for people to accept.
Why do you think that is?
Because, especially in India, we are taught that complex words equal high intelligence. Like, if you use big, heavy words, people will respect you more.
This raises an important question. Why do we default to complexity? It is basically a defense mechanism.
A defense mechanism.
Yes. When we feel a little insecure, maybe in a meeting or giving a presentation, we use big words as a shield.
Oh, that is so true. We try to hide behind the vocabulary.
Exactly. We think, if I use very fancy words, nobody will question me. We say things like utilize instead of just use. Or we say, I will facilitate the process instead of I will help.
It is like an animal puffing up its chest to look bigger and scarier. It is a bluff.
And it completely ruins the conversation. Because when you reach for that massive $10 word, your brain has to stop and search for it.
The buffering circle comes back.
Yes. You hesitate. You lose your train of thought.
And honestly, half the time, the other person doesn't even know what that big word means anyway.
Yeah.
So you've totally lost them.
Right. The true masters of communication, the really brilliant leaders and speakers, they take very complex ideas and explain them using the simplest words possible.
To make it easy for the listener.
Exactly. They do not hide behind their vocabulary because they are actually confident in their ideas.
That makes a lot of sense. So using simple words is like upgrading your internet speed. You remove the buffering so the conversation flows in real time.
Simple words mean faster thinking. Faster thinking means less hesitation. And less hesitation looks exactly like confidence.
Before we move on to how we actually practice this, let's do a quick, fun game to prove this point.
Ooh, the game. Okay, bring it on.
I am going to give you a very complicated, overly formal sentence. You have to translate it into natural, simple English that you would use with a friend or a coworker. Ready?
I am ready.
Okay. I am currently experiencing a severe lack of comprehension regarding your recent statements.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I don't understand what you just said.
Boom. Perfect. See how much better that is? Let's do one more. It is mandatory that we expedite this project to meet the impending deadline.
We need to finish this project quickly.
Exactly. It is so much friendlier. And you didn't have to pause to search for words like expedite or impending.
It just flows so much better when you keep it simple.
It really does. But here's the thing. Knowing that we need to think directly and use simple words is great in theory.
Right.
But how do we actually build that instant reflex? We can't just read this guide and suddenly our brain changes.
No, you have to look at your daily habits, your daily inputs and outputs. And that brings us to section 4.
The input-output loop. Daily habits for mastery.
Yes. The source material gives us some very actionable habits. A man's first tip is speak every day. Even simple sentences are enough.
Sleep every day.
And Ria's tip is listen to podcasts and conversations.
Okay, let's break down why this specific loop is so important.
Because communication is an active skill. It is not static knowledge.
What do you mean by static knowledge?
Well, a lot of people treat English like it is a subject in school, like history or geography. They buy textbooks, they memorize rules, they study grammar tables.
Right, they try to learn it by reading.
But speaking is not like reading a history book. Speaking is an athletic event. It is a physical motor skill. Oh, wow. I never thought about it like that. A physical skill.
Yes, you have to coordinate your lungs, your vocal cords, your tongue, your lips, all at the exact same time.
It is like learning to play a sport.
Exactly. You can read 100 books about how to play cricket, you can memorize all the rules, but if you never actually pick up a bat and swing it, you are going to miss the ball every time.
Because your muscles don't know what to do. The knowledge is in your head, but your body hasn't practiced it.
That is why Aman says you must speak every day. You have to practice the physical act of talking.
Even simple sentences are enough.
Yes, because you are building muscle memory. You don't have to give a 1-hour speech. Just narrate your daily life when you are alone.
Like, I am making tea right now. The tea is hot. I am putting sugar in it.
Yes, it sounds a little silly, but it is incredibly powerful because you are forcing your brain to connect the action directly to the English words without translating it to Hindi first.
You are building a new fast highway in your brain. Exactly. You are greasing the wheels. But you also need the other half of the loop, the input.
Right. Ria says, listen to podcasts and conversations. I noticed she didn't say listen to the formal news.
No, and that is very important. Formal news broadcasts or textbook audio tracks are not natural. They speak perfectly, they pause perfectly.
It is robotic.
But real human conversation is messy. People talk over each other. They say and They use slang.
Kind of like what we are doing right now.
Exactly. When you listen to podcasts and raw conversations, you learn the actual music of the language.
The rhythm.
Yes, you learn where native speakers naturally pause, how they use their voice to show emotion, and how they use simple words to explain big things.
And your brain absorbs all of that naturally just by listening.
So when it is your turn to speak, you don't have to think about grammar. You just speak with the rhythm you have heard 1,000 times.
Let me ask you right now, you, the person listening to this deep dive, let's do a little audience practice like Ria does in the text. Do you feel nervous while speaking? Do you catch yourself overthinking the grammar when you talk to your boss or colleagues?
I bet a lot of people are nodding their heads right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want you to know that you are not alone in this. Even we experience this overthinking sometimes. It happens to everyone.
It is completely human. But Aman shares the ultimate philosophy to overcome it. He says, start small, but stay consistent.
Start small, stay consistent, skills improve with practice.
You have to accept that when you start doing this, when you start speaking directly in simple English, you are going to make mistakes.
You are going to wobble.
Exactly. Going back to the bicycle analogy. When you first ride a bike, you wobble. You might fall down and scrape your knee.
And you just have to accept that. You can't expect to jump on the bike and immediately win a race.
But with language, because we are intelligent adults, we hate the wobble. We hate feeling foolish.
So true. We think, I am a smart adult. I shouldn't sound like a beginner. So we just stay quiet in the meeting.
We protect our ego instead of developing our skill.
Wow. That hits hard. We protect our ego instead of developing the skill.
Aman and Ria are basically saying, get on the bike. Accept the wobble. Speak those clumsy, simple sentences.
Let yourself make mistakes. Because every time you survive a mistake, your brain realizes it is not the end of the world.
The fear goes down, the speed goes up, and your natural fluency finally comes out.
Okay, this has been an incredibly powerful deep dive. Let's do a quick recap of the really crucial insights we uncovered today.
Good idea. Let's summarize it.
So first, good communication isn't about having a flawless Shashi Tharoor level vocabulary. It is not about dominating the room.
Right. It is a game of catch. You have to listen just as much as you speak to make a real connection.
Second, perfection is the enemy of confidence. Stop doing security checks on every single word before you say it.
A simple, confident mistake is always better than a perfect, awkward silence.
Third, break the habit of mental translation. Don't go from Hindi to English to grammar rules. Think directly in English by keeping your words incredibly simple. Stop hiding behind complex jargon.
And finally, build your daily loop. Speak out loud every single day to build the muscle memory and listen to natural conversations to learn the rhythm.
Except the wobble.
Yes, except the wobble.
I love that. So I want to leave you with a final provocative thought, a challenge for you to try today.
Ooh, a challenge. I like this.
Think about your next conversation today. It could be ordering food, talking to a customer care agent, or emailing your boss.
Okay.
If you stripped away all the big words and complex sentences you usually rely on to sound smart, what is the core message you are actually trying to say?
That is a great question. Are you sometimes hiding behind complexity to mask a lack of confidence?
Try using the absolute simplest words you can find, just for today. Notice how much faster you speak, and notice how much more relaxed you feel.
You might be surprised at how well people respond to it.
Exactly. Prioritize connection over perfection. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into finding your voice.
Keep practicing, keep it simple.
And until next time, stay confident and embrace the wobble.